Show me that ID again. It doesn't look real for someone like you. The sentence sliced through the midday hallway, freezing Elena Brooks in place as her son's breath hitched beside her. She had waited weeks for this appointment, but it took the officer only seconds to strip away her dignity. The folder in her hand trembled, part fear, part fury, part exhaustion from a lifetime of moments just like this. Someone whispered, someone looked away. Then a pair of heavy footsteps echoed toward them. The insult came first, sharp enough to slice the morning in half. People like you don't belong here, the man snapped as she stepped through the glass doors with her son. Elena Brooks paused, one hand still holding the folder she'd spent weeks preparing. Her 12-year-old, Jordan, shifted closer, eyes darting between her steady posture and the uniformed officer blocking their path. In the bright midday light, every breath felt heavier, as if the world was narrowing around them. The lobby fell silent, strangers pretending not to watch while their glances said everything. Elena knew this rhythm too well, the shift in tone, the way the space around her seemed to tighten, the quiet message telling her she was alone in a room full of people. She lifted her chin, trying to keep her voice even. I have an appointment. My paperwork is in order. The officer smirked. Sure it is. Jordan's fingers tightened around her sleeve. A tiny, almost invisible plea for her not to break. Elena didn't. But something in her eyes dimmed, the kind of dimming that happens when you've had to be calm more times than you've had the chance to be heard. The folder slipped slightly as she adjusted her grip. A single page slid out, Jordan's drawing for her, tucked inside as a quiet reminder that she was doing all of this for him. The officer stepped on it without looking down. The sound of the paper crumpling echoed louder than any shout. Outside, a door slammed, and footsteps approached. The humiliation came fast, clinical, practiced. The officer motioned for backup, and a second staff member arrived, this one younger, eyes hesitant but choosing the easier loyalty. They flanked Elena in the middle of the lobby as if she were a threat instead of a mother clutching paperwork. Ma'am, step aside. We need to verify your identity, the older officer demanded. Jordan protested, she didn't do anything, but his voice cracked and died under the weight of the stairs around them. Elena instinctively put a hand on his shoulder, guiding him behind her. A shield he shouldn't have needed to be protected by. The officer grabbed the folder from her hand. Papers spilled across the floor like scattered pieces of her credibility. A woman nearby gasped softly, then turned away, unwilling to be part of what she clearly recognized. The younger staff member knelt to gather the papers but froze when he noticed one page stamped with a familiar seal. He hesitated, eyes widening just slightly. Elena caught it, just enough to know something inside that folder unsettled him. But he said nothing. Jordan knelt to pick up his drawing, now smudged by the boot print across it. His lip trembled, and he whispered, "Why do they always do this?" That question pierced deeper than any insult hurled at her. As the officers began to lead her toward the restricted hallway, Elena looked back at her son. Her voice steady, barely louder than a breath, "Stay where they can see you." A bystander finally raised a phone. And that single action shifted the air in the room. What would you do if this happened to you? The hallway felt colder than the lobby, its walls too narrow, like they were meant to shrink whoever walked through them. Elena's wrists were held, not cuffed, but tight enough for the message to be clear. The older officer leaned close, whispering, "People like you think you can walk in here with fancy folders. Not today." It was the lowest point, the moment designed to break her. He shoved her paperwork across the table, rifling through it with open disdain. Then he found the sealed document. The one the younger staffer had recognized. "What's this?" he mocked. "Some fake government paper." Elena didn't flinch. "You shouldn't touch that." He laughed loudly. "Why? Is the president going to walk in here?" His thumb broke the seal. And everything stopped. He read the header. The Department of Justice emblem stared back at him. Federal witness, active cooperation. The younger staffer inhaled sharply. "Sir, you can't open that. We don't have clearance." But the older officer had already paled, all color draining from his face. He swallowed hard, suddenly aware that every decision he made in the last 5 minutes was about to be evaluated by someone much, much higher than him. From the hallway behind them came firm footsteps, 2 sets. Then a voice, "Step away from her. Now." 2 federal agents entered the room with badges raised, the authority in their presence unmistakable. The older officer staggered back, his earlier bravado collapsing like sand. The younger staffer stepped aside immediately, eyes fixed on the floor. Agent Carter addressed Elena first. "Ms. Brooks, are you harmed?" "No," she answered, "but my son is outside." Carter nodded to his partner, who moved swiftly toward the lobby. Then he turned to the officer. His voice was ice. "You opened a sealed DOJ document. That is a federal violation. Remove your hands from your belt and sit down." The officer obeyed without a word. Elena gathered her papers, smoothing the crushed drawing with her fingertips. A small, human gesture of quiet strength. When she stepped back into the lobby, Jordan ran to her, relief softening his face. As they walked toward the exit, the officer called out weakly, "Ma'am." Elena stopped just long enough to speak without turning back. "You didn't see me. You saw what you wanted me to be. And that's why you're sitting in there, and I'm walking out." Outside, a few bystanders watched silently, some ashamed, some awakened. And for a moment, the world seemed to pause, not to judge, but to reconsider.